This is Atlantic Television Network Global News. First, the headlines. Police denies rumors of looting in Port Harcourt. Aiyedatiwa declares holiday for Akeredolu's funeral. Senate confirms 17 commissioners for NPC. Again, CBN raises customs duty to 1,605.82 naira. Israeli missile strike in Damascus kills 2. Actor, comedian Ewan McIntosh dies at 50. Bayern Munich confirmed Tuchel's departure. And now the rest of the stories. Police command has vehemently denied rumors circulating on social media, particularly WhatsApp, about chaos in the Lagos and Port Johnson areas of Port Harcourt town. The command, led by Commissioner of Police CP Olatunji Disu, has categorically refuted this claim, asserting that no such incidents have taken place in the state. In a statement signed by the police public relations officer, SP Grace Eringe Koko, ANIPR, the police command emphasized that Rivers State remains peaceful and secure, urging individuals to refrain from spreading false information that could disrupt the peace and harmony of the state. CP Olatunji Disu warned that those found disseminating rumors through social media platforms will face consequences. The police is urged to disregard the misleading message and continue their lawful activities. The command highlighted that the viral message was posted by mischievous individuals with the aim of destabilizing the peace in Rivers State. Contrary to the rumors, there have been no reports of assaults or looting of property and valuables in the state. The Rivers State Police Command reiterated its commitment to maintaining peace and called on the public to collaborate with security agencies in the state to fight against crime and criminality. Federal High Court in Port Harcourt has discharged and acquitted the chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, who is also the deputy chairman of youth movement in Emoha, local government area of Rivers State, Fubara Ohaka. The charges were filed against him by the federal government. Chief Ohaka has been standing trial on 6 counts charge of alleged involvement in illegal oil bunkering, terrorism, dealing on illegal refining products without license, conspiracy, amongst others, preferred against him since 2022 by the federal government through the Department of State Services. In his judgment, Justice Civil Dahlia Pam held that the federal government failed to provide evidence to back their claims, hence failed to prove the allegations against the defendants. It was gathered that Justice Dahlia Pam, however, agreed no case submission by the counsel to the defendant and thereby discharged and acquitted him. Speaking to newsmen outside the courtroom, Fubara Ohaka expressed happiness that he has been vindicated, saying the judgment has put shame on the faces of all those who conspire to tarnish his image. Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited is deepening its war on crude oil theft as it has discovered 222 fresh illegal connections and illegal refineries in the Niger Delta. In a 2-minute video obtained by ATN on Wednesday, it was revealed that the incidents were recorded between the 10th and 16th of February 2024. A breakdown showed that 27 of the incidences occurred at Matron Engineering Facilities, 21 at Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited, 7 at Shell Petroleum Development Company facilities, 4 at Tanta Security Services Limited, and 156 incidences were recorded at facilities owned by government security agencies. Additional details have it that 20 illegal connections were discovered in Okrika, Rivers State, Bayelsa State, and Delta State, where illegal refineries were uncovered at different locations in Rivers, Delta, Bayelsa, and Abia states. As seen in the video, sacks of crude oil were discovered in Warri, while cans of crude oil were seized in Edo State. More oil sacks were also seized in Olobiri in Delta State. Vandalized wellheads and pipelines were spotted in Bayelsa, while vehicles used for operations by the oil thieves were seized in Uli, Ugeli and Warri in Delta State. According to NNPCL, 52 suspects have been arrested so far. Edo State All Progressives Congress gubernatorial primary election, the National Working Committee of the party has declared the shadow election inconclusive. Following crisis that rocked last Saturday, the party said it will conclude the exercise on Thursday, February 22. A decision to this effect was reached on Tuesday night at an emergency meeting of the NWC to consider the report of the election submitted by Governor Hope Uzodinma's primary election committee at the party's headquarters in Abuja. National Chairman Abdullahi Umar Ganduje and the National Secretary Senator Ajibola Basiru briefed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the villa of the outcome of the election. Though details of the meeting at the villa were not made public, a source said the president expressed concerns at the turn of events during the shadow election and directed the NWC to ensure that the exercise was concluded. Addressing newsmen after the meeting, which lasted about 3 hours, National Publicity Secretary Phyllis Morka said that, based on the election report, NWC resolved that the primary election was not completed. The ruling All Progressives Congress has removed Governor Hope Uzodinma as chairman of the Elections Committee after the controversy that trailed Saturday's governorship primary in Edo State. Consequently, the party replaced Uzodinma with his Cross River State counterpart, Basi Otu, who was formerly the deputy chairman of the 7-member committee. This was disclosed in a statement issued on Wednesday by the APC National Organizing Secretary, Suleiman Argungu, saying the Cross River governor has now been saddled with the responsibility of conducting the rerun poll slated for Thursday, February 22. And other members of the primary election committee include former Osun State Deputy Governor Titilayo Laoye, Tamori, APC's flag bearer in the Plateau State 2023 governorship election, Nentawe Goshwe, Omar Musa, Lawan Garba, and Rabiu Suleiman, who will serve as the secretary. The changes were made a few hours after 4 leading aspirants called for Uzodinma's replacements. Aspirants like Pastor Osage Ize Iyamu, Chief Lucky Imaswen, Senator Monday Obebolo, and General Charles Ahabere said they no longer trust his ability to conduct a free and fair election following the controversy that trailed Saturday's poll. National Chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure, has been arrested by security operatives. It's currently unclear the circumstances behind his arrest, but it is strongly believed to be connected to the recent crisis rocking the party. It can be recalled that Abure has been on the fire following accusations of embezzling over 3 billion naira party funds. ATN gathered that Abure was arrested by police officers for fraud and other financial crimes on Wednesday in Benin City, Edo State. Abia State Governor, through the Department of Climate Change of the Ministry of Environment and Urban Renewal, has expressed concern over the recent climate change resulting in heat waves during the day and at night. The adverse effect of the current situation, according to the government, include dehydration, which can lead to fainting, contracting chicken pox, heat rashes and mental stress, skin cancer, meningitis, and in the worst-case scenario, death. The government recalls that the Nigerian Meteorological Agency has advised on how to prepare for change in climatic conditions and therefore advised residents to adhere to the recommendations by the experts in order to curb the threat associated with the heat. NIMET has advised people to drink more water and stay hydrated, avoid more consumption of alcoholic beverages and caffeinated beverages, reduce intake of food rich in proteins because they increase metabolic activities, as fresh food and fruits are better alternatives. Stay indoors between 12 noon and 4:30 p.m. Take cold bath before going to bed at night and monitor their blood pressure always, among others. The State Commissioner for Environment, Philemon Obonna, in a statement on Wednesday said, while the state government is reassuring the people of its commitment to their welfare and security, Abians are reminded that health is wealth and that they should do all they can to live a healthy life. Nigeria's Security and Civil Defense Corps says it has arrested 2 men suspected to be cultists involved in ritualistic activities in Imo State. Matthew Ovie, the NSCDC commandant in Imo, made this statement while parading the suspects in Owerri on Wednesday. Oye said that the command's Rapid Response Squad arrested the suspects along the Okigwe Road, Owerri, while they were attempting to forcefully dispose a second-year student of Imo State University, simply identified as Neme, of her belongings on her way to the campus. He said that the suspects used charms on their unsuspecting victim and were about to lure her into carting away her belongings before the intervention of his men. He advised Imo people to be cautious when boarding buses and report suspected persons to the appropriate authorities. He, however, assured the general public that the NSCDC was synergizing with other security agencies through intelligence sharing to nip the ugly trend in the bud. Lagos State Police Command has arrested 3 suspected cable thieves in the Ojodo area of the state. The command spokesman, SP Benjamin Hundeyi, confirmed the arrest on his verified X handle on Wednesday. He listed the suspects as Babatunde Murutu, Shagun Lawal, and Adebayo Iyanu. According to him, the police arrested the trio during a stop-and-search operation. He said further interrogation and investigation revealed that they had just stolen the cables from a building in the neighborhood. The image maker said the suspects are to be arraigned at the conclusion of investigation. Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has declared Thursday, February 22nd and Friday, February 23rd, 2024 as public holidays in the state. The holidays, according to a statement issued by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Ebenezer Adeniyi, are in honor of the former governor of the state, the late Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. Adeniyi noted that the 2 work-free days will allow the people of the state to participate in the burial activities of the former governor who died last December. According to the statement, the burial activities, which started last Thursday, continue as follows. Wednesday, February 21, Ajabwe traditional rites in Owo from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. A special court session at Court 1 Ondo State High Court Headquarters, Hospital Road, Akure, at 10 a.m. Lining State and Commendation Service, Akure Township Stadium, time 1 p.m. Evening of Tributes at St. Andrew's Church in Mola Street, Owo, between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m., amongst others. Ekiti State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has paraded 12 suspects in connection with various crimes in the state. A statement by the command explained that the suspects were apprehended at different locations in and around the Ado-Ekiti metropolis for various crimes, including armed robbery, use and peddling of illicit drugs, burglary, stealing, conspiracy, and cybercrimes. One of the suspects, Adesoji Victor, 19, and 3 others were arrested during a Ford robbery at a supermarket along the Oke-Ila axis of Ado-Ekiti. The statement added that CTU operatives of NSCDC neutralized the suspects and recovered 1 locally made quarter-sized gun, other dangerous weapons, and a registered motorcycle. Others paraded by the command include Samuel Michael, 25, Adebayo Latif, 29, Opeyemi Adelusi, 24, Daramola Ariyo, 26, and Wasiu Ariyo, 29. The suspects were arrested along the Omisonjana axis of Ado-Ekiti and were found to have a large quantity of cannabis sativa among other incriminating materials. According to the statement, the duo of Ayodele Ayomide 20 and Oladapo Abe were arrested in Okela after they had successfully broken into a church and stole a heavy-duty generator. The suspects, the statement affirmed, would be arraigned upon the conclusion of the investigations. Ebonyi State Ministry of Health said on Wednesday that Lassa fever had claimed 14 lives in the state. Dr. Hyacinth Ebenyi, the Director of Public Health at the ministry, gave the figure in an interview with newsmen in Abakaliki. He said that the 14 cases were among the 29 confirmed cases of the disease recorded as of February 20. Ebenyi expressed concern that no fewer than 110 suspected cases of the disease were recently recorded in the state. He, however, called on the citizenry not to panic, giving the assurance that the state government was making efforts to stem the tide of the disease. Ebenyi advised the state residents to be cautious about eating rats and making contact with their flus. He listed the symptoms of the disease as including a high fever, general body weakness, and headaches. Bauchi State Government has established a committee to probe and propose solutions to environmental problems that affect the Bershin Fulani community in Bauchi local government area of the state. The State Commissioner for Natural Resources, Bello Maiwada, revealed this while briefing newsmen after a meeting with the community stakeholders and management of Tricta Construction Company on Wednesday in Bauchi. He pledged the state government's commitment to ensuring a safe environment for residents by tackling headlong the challenge of environmental pollution in the communities. According to him, members of the committee were concerned residents of the Bershi community, government officials, environmentalists, and management of Tricta Construction Company. The commissioner, however, condoled with the people of Gudun Sayawa, where four women died at a mining site in the community. He warned against illegal mining, urging prospective miners to seek clearance from the Ministry of Natural Resources. Organized labor in Niger State has announced an indefinite industrial action scheduled to begin on Wednesday. In a letter addressed to the Niger State government through the Office of the Secretary to State Governments, and jointly signed by the state chairman of the NLC, Idris A. Lafene, and the state chairman of the TUC, Ibrahim Ghana, the organized labor said the industrial action would last until the government resolve all the outstanding disputes between it and the organized labor. The labor has asked the state governments to reverse all political appointments as executive directors of finance, operations, and administration in agencies. It also asked the government to reverse the appointments of chairman, members, and permanent commissioners of the Local Government Service Commission and Civil Service Commission, as well as the appointments of director generals of some agencies. Other demands include a clear statement by the government on payment of the wage award. The organized labor, however, warned the state government against the appointment of civil servants that are not qualified as permanent secretaries, while asking the government to withdraw the appointment of the vice principal as permanent secretary to allow for career progression from within. Organized labor also warned the state government to desist from victimizing teachers and members of the educational sector, following the recent primary schools debate in Agé, in which the government alleged a pupil had used vulgar and violent language against the federal government. Police Command in Adamawa State says its operatives, in collaboration with hunters in Gombe local government area have arrested 3 suspected kidnappers and rescued a 16-year-old female victim. SP Suleiman Unjuroge, the command spokesperson who disclosed this in a statement in Yola on Wednesday, said the operation was carried out by its crack squad. Nguroje said that the operation was launched following a tip-off and the operatives stormed a kidnapping den at Forta village in Gombe. He said the victim, name withheld, was kidnapped 3 days ago from Boma village, Shani local government area of Borno State. According to the statement, the victim is currently receiving medical attention at an undisclosed health facility. Ngoroje stated that the Commissioner of Police, CP Dankombo Morris, had assured the public that there would be no hiding place for criminals as they would be fished out from anywhere within the state. In Nigeria today, one of the biggest challenges to citizens is food. It is on this note that the Nigerian Council of Food Science and Technology moves to sensitize the state ministries of local government commissions and state ministries of health in Nigerian food safety and security. In a sensitization workshop held in Abuja, the Registrar, Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian Council of Food Science and Technology said food safety is pertinent to all Nigerians because it involves health. The aim of the workshop was to ensure that all foods at grassroots, national and international level.
But this very one, I assure you, is very pertinent to us, to every Nigerian, that we must give it all it takes to make it work. Issue of safety of food in Nigeria, very, very important. So the aim of this sensitization is to ensure that the regulation of food at the grassroots, the local government level, is carried out according to the world best operating practices, procedures, as done internationally, so that our food or food products can be safe for Nigerians, first and foremost, and then can also compete favorably with the ones outside of Nigeria and not rejected when exported. So NICFOS will rely heavily on the local government area councils for the improvement of food safety practices of street food vendors, whether they are fixed. You see some of them will have shops. Some of them are semi-mobile. Today they come, tomorrow they they finish and carry their wares away, including their stores, and then come back the next day. Then some other ones are mobile, they move about. So we rely on the local government for the safety practices of these people, the caterers, semi-packaged and unpackaged food sellers in the market and in other places around Nigeria and outside of Nigeria.
Some participants at the workshop from different states and local government across the country have this to say.
Handling is done at the local government levels. The bulk of food trade is done at the local level. There is no country in the world that does not recognize that food safety is most tackled at the local government level. That is where the bulk of informal trades happen. In the formal trade level, there are quite a lot of bodies and responsibilities that make people to self-regulate. So please, we need to change in this country so that the dream of NICFOS to ensure that best practices are applied to food matters and food handling can be achieved.
Do with what you eat. How safe is what you eat? You must be sure of the safety of the food you eat. That is what we're going to discuss there. The national policy on food safety is supposed to be domesticated by states. So many states, I think only 15 or 16 states have done that, including my own state, Osun State. We've adopted the policy and we have domesticated same. Then we intend to replicate same in all the local governments to be sure of the safety of the food we eat. Food, when we talk about food and its consumption, we talk about people from the grassroots, people from the local government, who to be aware of what they eat.
House Committee on Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs of the Taraba State House of Assembly has pledged to ensure fairness among all ethnic groups amidst the long-standing traditional leadership dispute in Takum local government area. The pledge was made during a public hearing convened on Monday in Jalingo in the State House of Assembly chamber, in reaction to an executive bill presented by Governor Abu Kefas aimed at reforming the traditional leadership structure in the council. Representatives from various ethnic groups in Takum voiced divergent opinions during the public hearing. While some supported the rational proposal, others, notably that Kuteb ethnic group, advocated for exclusive rights to the traditional stew. The different ethnic groups expressed gratitude to the governor for intervening in the long-standing disputes. They urged the committee, led by former Speaker Peter Abeldia, to ensure fairness and transparency in their deliberations. In his address, they underscored the importance of unity among the ethnic groups, urging them to overcome the hatred and bitterness that have plagued the community for years. He assured the public of the committee's dedication and finding a lasting solution, starting that its report would undergo consideration by the 24 members of the Assembly. The traditional stool in Takum has remained vacant for the past 26 years, sparking controversies and leading to the loss of lives and the destruction of properties. Justice Usman Malam Naaba of Kano State High Court has nullified the suspension of a former governor of the state, Alhaji Rabiu Kwankwaso, from the new Nigeria People's Party. The court, while delivering its ruling on a suit, further barred some aggrieved members of the party from taking over or acting as national officers of the NNPP. Specifically, Justice Naaba issued an order of interim injunction restraining the respondents by themselves, their agents, cronies, and whosoever acting or acting through them from parading them interviews as national officers, leaders, or members of the applicants pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice. He equally held that an order of interim injunction is hereby granted, setting aside the purported suspension of Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso as member of the applicants and restraining the Independent National Electoral Commission from recognizing the purported suspension pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice. The court ordered substituted service of the processes on the respondents, even as it adjourned further proceedings in the matter till March 11. Operatives of the Kaduna Zonal Command of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have arrested one Captain Nuhu Haruna for an alleged criminal breach of trust to the tune of 1,020,000,000 naira only. The suspect was arrested when a petition alleged that sometime in December 2023 he was introduced to the suspect for the purpose of foreign exchange transaction. He allegedly paid the money into the suspect's account to offer him its dollar equivalent. He explained that the suspect furnished him with evidence of payments made which turned out to be false, as he never received the dollar equivalent. Preliminary investigation showed that Haruna, who claimed to be an airline captain, allegedly diverted the money for his personal use in buying properties and vehicles which he intended to use for the startup of his alleged airline company, Air Unity Aviation Services, a landed property purchased at 155,000 naira and another purchased at 350,000 naira. 3 18-seater Toyota Hiace buses imprinted with the logo of Air Unity Aviation Services and 4 exotic cars were traced to the suspect. The commission added that the suspect will be charged to court at the conclusion of investigations. You are still watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this break.
When peace like
the Ejogu family of Umunna in Amuju in Isu local government area of Imo State cheerfully mourn the demise of their daughter, sister and mother, prophetess Kola Ijoma Ejogu, whose sad event occurred on Saturday, 5th of January 2024 at UPTH. Burial arrangement, night of tribute. Date is Thursday, the 29th of February 2024. Time is 4 p.m. and venue is Wish Complex, Wish Avenue Radio Estate, NTA Road, Uzoba, Port Harcourt. Burial service, Order of God of Abraham Ministries. Date Sunday, the 3rd of March 2024. Time 10 a.m. prompt. Venue Umunna in Izu local government area of Imo State. Retirement follows immediately after service. She is survived by Mrs. Roslyn Obonna, mother, Raphael, Richard, and Wisdom sons, Sonny Ejogu, Ugochukwu Ejogu, Chukwudi Ejogu as brothers, and Kechinere Sebastian sister. May her in peace. Sign Apostle Sonny Ejogu and senior leader Raphael Ukudiri Ejogu on behalf of the family.
Zamfara State Police Command has debunked reports of the kidnapping of 26 passengers on the Gusau-Sokoto Road. Recall that on Wednesday, the bandits, who were in large numbers, blocked the Gusau-Sokoto Road in an attempt to kidnap motorists plying the road. Although unverified claims that the bandits successfully kidnapped about 26 passengers before the arrival of security agents. Reacting in a statement on Wednesday, spokesperson for the Zamfara Police Command, Yazid Abubakar, who confirmed the blockage of the road by the bandits, adding that the security personnel successfully drove away the bandits and cleared the road. According to him, normalcy has been restored on the road. He urged well-meaning members of the state to assist the command with the relevant information required to bring to an end to banditry and bring about absolute normalcy in the state. General Yakubu Gowon has urged Nigerians to give more time to the administration of President Bola Tinubu towards resolving the various challenges confronting the country. He added that it was too early in life of the administration to begin to resolve all the inherited crises from different sectors. Gowon said this after a meeting with Tinubu at the presidential villa on Wednesday in Abuja. Gowon further revealed that his meeting with President also centered on the issue of the challenges facing the ECOWAS sub-regions, adding that it must be settled amicably. He debunked claims on social media that he refused to attend an event organized by ECOWAS, adding that this was probably due to miscommunication. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the appointment of DGC Kemi Nandap to serve as the Comptroller General of the Nigeria Immigration Service. Nandap's appointment will take effect from March 1st, 2024, according to a statement on Wednesday by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngalale. Nandap takes over from Mrs. Caroline Wura Ola Adepoju, whose term in office expires on February 29, 2024. Before she was appointed Comptroller General, Nandap was the Deputy Comptroller General in charge of Migration Directorate of the service. The President anticipates that the new Comptroller General will deepen the ongoing reforms in the service and create a robust mechanism for efficient and dedicated service delivery to Nigerians, as well as strengthen the nation's security through proactive and effective border security and migration management. House of Representatives on Wednesday, February 21, asked the Council of Legal Education to put in abeyance the recent 60% increase in the school fees of the Nigerian Law School. Adopting a motion by the minority leader of the House, Kingsley Chinda, and read on his behalf by Jinja Awubsibe, the House asked its relevant committees on justice and tertiary education and service to explore solutions to the issue at hand and report back within 2 weeks. Chinda described the Nigerian Law School as the medium through which the Council of Legal Education discharged its function to regulate the legal education of persons seeking to become members of the legal profession, as provided for under Section 1, Subsection 2 of the Legal Education Act, Cap L10, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004. He said, the function of the Council of Legal Education to oversee legal education in Nigeria includes deciding the cost of tuition and other services rendered to students of the Nigerian Law School. He stressed that Nigeria is currently facing a 27.33% inflation rate as reported by the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, which is projected by Trade Economics to rise to 30.00% by December 2024. He, however, expressed concern that in exercising its functions, the Council of Legal Education has approved a 60% increase in Nigerian law school fees from 296,000 to 476,000 for the 2023-2024 Bar Part 2 academic session. He said further that the 2023-2024 Bar Part 2 academic session commenced in January 2024 with no time given to prospective students to raise the balance. He warned that failure to promptly address the need for a balance between the council's service quality and students' affordability could result in a significant drop in Nigerian law school enrollment. According to him, this in turn would lead to fewer lawyers being called to the bar and ultimately contributing to a higher national unemployment rate among those unable to pursue legal careers. Nigerian Senate on Wednesday confirmed the nomination of 17 out of 19 persons transmitted to the Senate by President Bola Tinubu to serve as commissioners of the National Population Commission. The confirmation followed the report submitted by the Senate Committee on National Identity Card and Population chaired by Senator Abdul Ahmed Ningi. In the report, Ningi said the nomination of 19 persons was in line with powers vested on President Bola Tinubu to appoint qualified Nigerians to serve as commissioners of the National Population Commission and having transmitted their names to the National Assembly. 17 of the nominees made themselves available for screening. They were all screened and found worthy, except 2 of the nominees from Ondo and Ogun states who have been engaged before their appointment. Hence, he was seeking the confirmation of the chamber for 17 persons. Nigerian senators on Wednesday unanimously kicked against plans to increase electricity tariff, describing the move as retrogressive and ill-timed. The upper chamber also mandated its committee in power to investigate the over 2 trillion naira subsidy required as alleged by the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu. After a robust debate on the motion by Senator representing Adamawa Central, Iya Abbas, on Wednesday's plenary, the lawmakers urged the federal government to immediately stand down the idea of increasing electricity tariff in the country.
Call on federal government to stand down the idea of increase in electricity tariff by withdrawing subsidy. Mandate Committee on Power to investigate the over 2 trillion subsidy requirement. as stated by the Minister of Power, to avoid the repeat of fuel subsidy scenario, and the statement made by the Honourable Minister with regard to 1.3 trillion naira of the Ministry-owned oil generating companies and $1.3 billion owed to gas companies.
It can also lead to an increase in theft of electricity within our society. And if it is as a result of unmetered consumption, people can find a source of how to connect this power to themselves. Mr. President, finally, is going to have what we call a negative impact on the economy. How? It's going to be retrogressive because a lot of people may not work directly with what used to be on power. Mr. President.
Senator Abba Moro, representing Benue South, said Nigeria must first be sufficient in generation and distribution of power before considering an increase in tariff. On his part, Senator representing Sokoto South, Aminu Tambawal, said the removal of any subsidy on electricity is insensitive, describing the move as adding petrol to fire.
And effectively, adequately distribute electricity. Most of the problems that we are having today, especially in the manufacturing sector of the economy, is as a result of low power. And many organizations and companies are relocating from Nigeria simply because they don't have energy to drive their organizations. And so, Mr. President, I support this motion, and I want to say that this Senate should resolve again, like the Senate did in the 9th Senate, that the desire to raise electricity should be put on hold until the distribution of electricity is adequate and proper. This issue of subsidy removal has become a very serious matter, and we must be very careful how we handle it.
The populace are facing untold hardships, and the situation in the country is anything but normal. And removal of any subsidy, not to talk of electricity subsidy, will be more than adding petrol to fire. The situation in the country do not allow for even a contemplation of that. I believe that is ill-timed, is insensitive to say the least, and therefore there is the need for the Senate to rise to this occasion and intervene.
In a remark, the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, aligned with his colleagues, noting that any increase will further throw Nigerians into untold hardship, especially now that they are grappling with hunger and high cost of living. Senate President Godswill Akpabio has disclosed that each state governor has been allocated an extra 30 billion naira to address the challenges of food scarcity and hardships confronting Nigerians. Akpabio said each state should properly utilize the money towards ensuring the availability of food. Speaking on the floor of the Senate, Akpabio said unverified report has it that each of the state governments in the last few months received additional 30 billion naira from Federal Inland Revenue Service outside their normal allocation from the Federation account to assist them in ameliorating the food situation. The current economic hardship has led to a hike in the prices of foodstuff across the country. The shortage of foodstuff was also linked to the hoarding by some people and illegal smuggling to neighboring countries. Recall that Vice President Kashim Shettima had disclosed how security operatives discovered 32 illegal routes being used to smuggle foodstuff and other items to neighboring countries from Nigeria. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has declared that recent protests in some states on the harsh economic situation in the country are sponsored. Akpabio made the declaration during plenary after the presentation of a report of the Joint Committee on Banking, Finance, National Planning, Agriculture and Appropriation headed by Senator Abdullahi Yahaya, corresponding Rotimi Adewumi reports.
The President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, declared that recent protests witnessed in some states over economic hardship situation in the country are sponsored, while stressing the need to immediately address the issue of hunger in the country. Akpabio revealed that in the last few months, state governments received 30 billion naira each to tackle the current hardship faced by citizens.
You can see a lot of sponsored protests here and there, but those people are not aware. Most of those sponsored protests are not aware of the kind of efforts being made by this Senate to tackle the situation, together with the joint management team of the federal government of Nigeria. And I must say that unverified report has it that each of the state governments in the last few months have received additional 30 billion from the Federal Inland Revenue Service outside their normal allocations, from the Federation account, outside their normal allocations, to assist them in ameliorating the food situation. So we believe that every state government should utilize the funds so received towards ensuring that food is available.
Meanwhile, in an extensive debate, Senator Adamu Alero argued that some state governors, including some retired ones in the Senate, were beneficiaries of the 18 billion as shock absorber under the Ways and Means since 2015.
Each state government in 2023 was given 18 billion naira at once. Some of the governors that benefited from that 18 billion naira are here. I'm sure Governor London can confirm that.
And they did not, and they did not repay the money by the time they came to the Senate.
The Senate President thereafter maintained that owing to the current economic situation, it has become expedient to thoroughly examine the Ways and Means funds. The Deputy Senate President, Barao Jubri, also explained that the intervention monies were expended outside appropriation without the knowledge of the Parliament, noted that lawmakers have the right to interrogate the expenditure. As the issue of whether or not to investigate the matter raised open another debate in the Red Chamber, while some senators suggested that a special committee be set up to scrutinize the 30 trillion intervention disbursement, some of which were granted, and ways to mop them up.
Exclude the fact that we can still go and investigate what we pass. So we are open to investigation, and there was a caveat at that time that we're going to investigate, the details must be provided, so we are waiting. Anytime the Senate feels that we should go to investigate that, we investigate that. So for one now to say, for what happened then was a collective responsibility, and it was done in the interest of the nation and in line with our collaborative stance with the executive arm of government.
The Senate has however resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the details of the Ways and Means, including various intervention programs such as Anchor Borrower Program given to state governments, including banks, aviation sector and power sector among others, which has risen the debt profile of the country. Rotimi Adewumi, ATN News.
Godwin Emefiele, the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, has accused the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, of making defamatory statements against him. The accusations stem from comments purportedly made by the Senate President at an event which Emefiele claims have unjustly maligned his character and portrayed him as the root cause of Nigeria's current economic challenges. During the televised remarks, the Senate President suggested that the government was at a loss for what charges to bring against Emefiele, citing potential accusations ranging from causing economic turmoil to illegal possession of firearms and unauthorized printing of currency. These remarks have sparked controversy and drawn attention to the former CBN governor's ongoing legal battles, where he has pleaded not guilty and is actively defending his innocence. Matthew Bawker, legal representative for Emefiele, stated in a letter addressed to the Senate President, a copy of which was obtained by newsmen in Abuja on Wednesday, that the former CBN governor considers these statements false, distorted and made in bad faith. The statements were deemed to be aimed at disparaging his character. The letter demanded an immediate retraction of the statement, a written apology and a payment of 25 billion naira as compensation for the alleged defamation. The legal team argued that the Senate President's comments not only undermine the integrity of the judiciary by commenting on a matter currently under legal review, but also fails to acknowledge Emefiele's contributions to the Nigerian economy. They highlighted his role in introducing banking sector innovations and his efforts in addressing the P&ID saga, which had positive outcomes for Nigeria. Nigeria, like other countries, is faced with many challenges, of which climate change is one. In a move to profile solutions to Nigeria climate changes, the Federal Ministry of Environment has held a consultative forum on Green Bond Inter-Ministerial Committee on Climate Change. Minister of State for Environment, Dr. Isiaq Adekunle Salako, said federal government has successfully issued 25.6 billion naira for green bond projects, and that the government have agreed to increase year-to-year issuances from 2024 to 2027 to contribute significantly to country's low emission targets.
Following the successful issuance of 25.6 billion in the maiden and second issuance, we have agreed to an incremental year-to-year issuance from 2024 to 2027, starting with a larger size issuance of 60 billion in 2024 for the implementation of green projects that can contribute significantly to the country's low emission targets. You will realize that if you look at the 2024 budget, and the budget office is here, I think capital is about 10 trillion. So if we are doing 60 billion, I'm sure budget office will be telling us we are just scratching the surface. So we therefore need to be ambitious. 60 billion out of 10 trillion is less than, I think less than 1% or thereabouts. So, and the opportunities are there. So if we are going to go green, we must find a way to increase our market share of green bonds.
The minister attributed climate change as a developmental issue which has economic and special consequences, adding that there is no need to put experience together to pursue the nation's carbon low pathway.
That the third issuance is dependent on the collaboration of stakeholders along doing the right things, especially as it related to developing green bond project items. Some of you will be presenting today for consideration. We must ensure the efficiency of resource allocation and utilization of priority projects, especially green bond projects for sovereign green bond issuance. Climate change is not just an environmental issue. It is a developmental issue, which has enormous economic and social consequences. We need to understand the magnitude of the economic, social, and ecological challenges that confront us. The green bond issuance has therefore become part of our climate experience. It is in this regard that we shall continue to draw strength and lessons from one another as we proceed in the nation's low-carbon pathway.
Earlier, in an opening remark, Alhaji Ibrahim Yusufu Idris stressed that successful issuance of foreign green bonds to tune of 25.6 billion naira has funded projects across 5 sectors of environment such as energy, agriculture, transportation, and water.
That's with domestic resources. Well, we hope to reduce. We have to achieve 47% up from 45% with the international support in its efforts towards emission reductions. The successful maiden and follow-up issuance of sovereign green bond to the tune of 25.68 billion naira have funded projects across 5 priority sectors of environment, energy, agriculture, transport and water. The projects funded from the proceeds of the bond provided clear and quantifiable environmental benefits, including 12.5% megawatt of renewable energy generation, over 2,000 hectares of afforestation and reforestation, and estimated emission reduction potential of 33,504 tons of carbon dioxide. However, there have been some challenges mitigating against the effective implementation of the Green Bond. These are issues related to delay and non-compliant implementation of project under the second issuance by benefiting MDS, and must not repeat themselves as we engage in the third issuance of the Sovereign Green Bond.
Multinational Joint Task Force has killed scores of Boko Haram terrorists, while several others have surrendered in the ongoing clearance operations within the Lake Chad Basin. Chief of Military Public Information Colonel Abubakar Abdullahi, in a statement issued Wednesday, said the operation was aimed at strengthening free movement and rejuvenating economic activities across the region. He said the initiative has led to an encouraging trend, with multiple terrorists surrendering and the interception of a major arms hold meant for insurgents' use. Abdullahi added that the items recovered from the 4 repentant insurgents included a collection of arms and ammunition significantly consisting of an AKM rifle, an AK-47 rifle, 3 magazines, and 29 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition. He noted that the MNJTF's persistence in offensive campaigns brought about additional victories, with notable operations conducted by the troops of Sector 2 Bagasolo, Chad. He stressed that during a high-impact offensive at the locality of Choko, the Lake Chad Island, the troops inflicted casualties in Boko Haram elements and recovered 3 teke-teke canoes, among other terrorist logistics items. Inspector General of Police Kayode Ebetokun has condemned any form of extortion by officers of the Nigerian police and issued a clear warning against using or dropping his name for such nefarious activities. A statement by Force Public Relations Officer ACP Muyiwa Adejobi said the warning is in furtherance of efforts to maintain the highest standards of integrity within the Nigerian police force. IGP emphasized that any officer found guilty of leveraging his name for fraudulent activities or extortion will face severe disciplinary measures. Furthermore, IGP Kayode Ebetokun implored the public to exercise caution and report any attempts to exploit his name for fraudulent activities or extortion, most especially in the investigation of cases. He highlighted the crucial role citizens play in collaboration with the police force to maintain a high standard of conduct and eliminate corruption within the system. The IGP therefore reassured the public of the force's commitment under his watch to root out misconduct and ensure accountability at all levels. He urged Nigerians to promptly report any incidents of extortion or fraudulent activity, providing detailed information to facilitate thorough investigations that will lead to severe sanctions for erring officers. The Department of State Services has asked the organized labor to shelve plans to stage protests in the country over the biting economic hardship. The service warned that some elements are planning to use the opportunity of the protests to foment crisis and, by extension, widespread violence, insisting the development will worsen the socio-economic situation across the country. This was made known in a statement issued on Wednesday by Peter Afunaya, the Director of Public Relations and Strategic Communications Department of State Services National Headquarters, Abuja. Afunaya said although the protest is within the legitimate rights of the labor, the service is urging the union to shelve the plan in the interest of peace and public order. According to him, all the levels of government are striving to ameliorate the prevailing economic condition and as such should be given the benefit of the doubt. He called on parents and guardians to exert authority in guiding the children and wards from inimical acts capable of jeopardizing public safety and harmony. Afunaya further warned that DSS stands opposed to violence as a means of settling present-day challenges, be they economic, political or otherwise, assuring that the service will work with sister security and law enforcement agencies to ensure that lasting peace is maintained in the country. Despite moves by the Niger State government to pacify organized labor in the state to shelve its indefinite strike, workers Wednesday commenced the indefinite strike as proposed. Thus followed by deadlocked talks between the officials of the Niger State government led by Secretary of the State Government Alhaji Abubakar Usman and those of the organized labor led by the State NLC Chairman Comrade Idris Lafene. As a result, the two state secretariats and other offices were shut, with the monitoring teams of the NLC going round to ensure compliance. Besides the shutdown of the offices, the Mina General Hospital and clinics across the states were also closed. Similarly, all public primary and secondary schools were shut, while few pupils and students who went to school knowingly went back home as there were no teachers available. In an interview, State Chairman of the NLC, Comrade Idris Lafene, said the strike will continue until their demands are met. Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, has called on the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission to ensure clear guidelines for players in the Nigerian electricity supply industry. Justice Ariwola, who made the call in Abuja at the opening of a 3-day seminar organized by NERC for judges at the Nigeria Judicial Institute, NGI, said the judiciary will continue to support the ongoing reforms in the sector. CJN, who was represented by the NJI Administrator, Honorable Justice Salisu Garba, said electricity sector is one that is very important to our nation and one that has far-reaching implications for the growth and prosperity of the country. Earlier, the Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, explained that the Electricity Act 2023 introduced far-reaching features that propel market liberalization, extend regulatory reach, and establish a more coherent policy framework that will mitigate all the operational and systematic risk in the Nigerian electricity supply industry. On his part, the chairman NERC, Engineer Sanusi Garba, said the key objectives of the seminar is to stimulate the discourse on emerging legal issues relating to the Nigerian electricity supply industry and to appraise the judiciary of the recent changes in the regulatory landscape. Now is ATN Business News. National Bureau of Statistics say the average retail price of a litre of diesel increased from 828.82 naira in January 2023 to 1,153.01 naira in January 2024. MBS stated this in its diesel price watch for January 2024, released in Abuja on Wednesday. The report said that the January 2024 price of 1,153 naira 1 kobo per litre amounted to a 39.11% increase over the 828.82 naira paid in January 2023. On state profile analysis, the report said the highest average price of diesel in January 2024 was recorded in Kebbi at 1,433 naira 33 kobo per litre, followed by Kogi at 1,300 naira and Abuja at 1,226 naira 70 kobo. It stated that the lowest price was recorded in Borno at 927 naira 27 kobo per litre, followed by Kanu at 940 naira 89 kobo and Taraba at 988 naira 33 kobo. In addition, the analysis by zones showed that the North Central had the highest price of 1,205 naira 11 kobo per litre, while the Northeast recorded the lowest price at 1,074 naira 3 kobo. Less than 5 days after it marginally reduced the customs exchange rate from 1,515 naira 48 kobo to 1,472 naira 0.756 last week, the Central Bank of Nigeria has again, for the opt-in time, increased the rate to 1,605 naira 82 kobo per dollar. The rate, which has already been reflected on the customs portal today, February 21st, 2024, has further dampened the hope of the despondent customs brokers and their importers at the Apex Bank has finally eased the foot off the pedal. Recall that last Friday, February 16, 2024, the CBN released the rate to 1,472.756 naira per dollar 24 hours after it raised it to 1,515.48 naira. Also recall that the reduction last week was in response to the appeal made by the members of the House of Representatives who frowned at the frivolous manner in which the Apex Bank has been jerking up the customs duty exchange rates. The recent increase, which the stakeholders said will not be the last, has set tongues wagging about whether the CBN is sensitive to the pains, hunger and general sufferings in the country. Custom brokers have lamented that the incessant increases have impacted negatively on their businesses as well as trade volume, as importers have abandoned their goods at the ports while others have diverted cargoes to the ports of neighboring countries. Recall that the CBN has increased the customs duty exchange rates more than 5 times in 1 month this year. Developers in the built industry have rejected the agreement reached between the federal government and cement manufacturers. At the meeting, it was resolved that prices of cement will be reduced to between 7,000 naira and 8,000 naira. In an exclusive interview, the president of the Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, Dr. Aliyu Wamako, said the reduction was not good for the economy. According to him, most of the companies of cement are sourced locally. Wamako noted that the price should be brought down to 5,000 naira for any meaningful thing to be done. Cement manufacturers had, on Monday, agreed to sell a 50 kg bag of cement at the retail price between 7,000 naira and 8,000 naira depending on location nationwide. Now to international tidbits. 15 candidates in the Senegal's delayed presidential election have accused President Macky Sall of ill will and said they will take action to ensure a new poll date is swiftly established. The announcement came as the civil society collective Arsenu Election said it had organized a new rally for Saturday. The collective is calling for an election to be held before April 2nd, when Sall's term officially runs out. It says the vote, originally scheduled for February 25, must be held by March 3rd at the latest. Sall's last-minute delay to the February vote plunged the traditional stable West African nation into its worst political crisis in decades and sparked arrests during which 3 people were killed. The opposition denounced the move as constitutional coup, Last week, Senegal's Constitutional Council overturned the vote delay and called on the president to organize the poll as soon as possible. At least 2 people have been killed in an Israeli missile strike in Syria's capital, Damascus. Syrian military said 2 civilians died while several missiles hit a block of flats in the Kaf Sousa district. A monitoring group said 2 foreigners and a Syrian civilian were killed and that the area was frequented by senior figures from Iran's Revolutionary Guards and Lebanese group Hezbollah, although the Israeli military has not commented. However, it has previously acknowledged carrying out hundreds of strikes on targets in Syria that it says are linked to Iran and allied armed groups. It has reportedly stepped up such strikes since the start of the war in Gaza Strip in October, in response to cross-border attacks in Israel by Hezbollah and other Iran-backed groups in Lebanon and Syria, who say they are acting in support of the allied Palestinian group Hamas. Last month, a strike in Damascus that was blamed on Israel killed 5 senior Revolutionary Guards and several Syrian security personnel. UK has frozen the assets of 6 Russian prison bosses in charge of the Arctic Penal colony where opposition leader Alexei Navalny died. The sanctioned individuals will also be banned from traveling to the UK. Western leaders say the blame for Navalny's death lies with the Russian authorities, including President Putin. The UK is the first country to impose sanctions in response to his death. The Foreign Office says the US has also announced it will be unveiling its own package of sanctions against Russia over Navalny's death and the ongoing war in Ukraine on Friday. The British government has called for Navalny's body to be released to his family immediately and for a full and transparent investigation to take place. And now is entertainment news. Tony Tatula says he would like to feature Burna Boy on the remix of his hit single My Car in 2001. Tony Tatula released the smash hit single My Car, which was a comical commentary on the social economic state of the country. My Car dominated speakers across the country and rocketed Tony Tatula to superstardom after just recently parting ways with the music group The Remedies, where he was a member alongside Idris Abdul Karim and Eddie Montana, known as Eddie Remedy. Tony Tatula recently engaged in a rare interview with Daddy Freeze to address some of the burning issues that have followed Idris Abdul Karim's appearance on the Honey Bunch podcast. In the interview, Tatula revealed that he was working on the remix of his 2001 smash hit single My Car, and he's hoping to recruit Grammy-winning Nigeria hitmaker Burna Boy for the remix. Tony Tatula hailed the young crop of artists taking Nigerian music to new heights. Tatula knocked Idris Abdul Karim for berating Burna Boy for saying nobody paved the way for him. Tatula said that while Idris and other artists from the older generation can lay claim to the status of pioneers, they can't insist they pave way for the future generation. British actor and comedian Ewan McIntosh, who starred in Keith Bishop in The Office, had died aged 50. A statement from his management company, Just Right Management, announced the peaceful passing of their beloved comedy genius, Ewan McIntosh. The statement said there will be a private cremation for family and close friends soon at a celebratory memorial later in the year. The actor, who also appeared in British comedies such as Afterlife, Miranda and Little Britain. McIntosh was best known as Wemhang Hogg, a Scotch egg-loving accountant Keith Bishop, who had a monotone and saxophone message and would rather have had a career as a DJ. The character of the memorable scenes include dressing up as Ali G for Red Nose Day. McIntosh also appeared in shows including Miranda and Little Britain. Here now is ATN Sports News. Bayern Munich had decided to part ways with manager Thomas Tuchel at the end of the season. This comes amid the club's disastrous run of form in the past few days. Bayern lost 3-0 to league leaders Bayern. Leverkusen lost 1-0 to Lazio in the Champions League and also lost 3-2 to VfL Bochum on Sunday. In a statement on Bayern's website on Wednesday, the club's CEO Jan-Christian Driesen disclosed this. Tuchel will not depart Bayern in the summer. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. Police denies rumors of looting in Port Harcourt. Aidatiwa declares holiday for Akaredolu's funeral. Senate confirms 17 commissioners for NPC. Again, CBN raises customs duty to 1,605.82 naira. Israeli missile strike in Damascus kills 2. Actor, comedian Ewan McIntosh dies at 50. Bayern Munich confirmed Tuchel's departure. I am Chinyere Davis and thank you for watching. You can follow us on the social media platforms: X, Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram, Atlantic TV Network. Do remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Good night.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
you human trafficker.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but